I have 50 billion notes, so bear with me, guys. So thank you guys so much, and welcome to the May edition of Check It Out. So here we go. So our plan, what is the plan today? I've got a couple of storytime standouts that you should be aware of. We are going to explore early readers. I have two second and third grade chapter books from a new series. We'll have some picture books and board books. We'll cover two items from children and teen nonfiction. I have two books that you should get on your radar. Middle grade fiction, graphic novel slash manga, what I'm reading slash teen fiction. I put it in there because I'm still in the process of either starting to read or in the middle of reading. And of course, giveaways and upcoming events. And good morning to everybody that is just arriving. You are just right on time. And for those of you that don't know me or you're new to youth librarianship, I want to extend a warm welcome and a hello to you. My name is Janeé Jackson-Doering. I'm the Youth Services Consultant with the State Library of Iowa. At the top left corner is my contact information. Feel free to email me, call me, text me. I am more than happy to come visit your library, especially this summer with summer reading on the horizon. So if you have any cool events that you would love for me to come out to see, I would love to come out and visit. And a lot of people that have seen me, they know I bring a goodie bag of books for you to keep. Um, and also, each month, I also feature something that brings me joy. So this month, actually this past weekend, these were the things that brought me joy. My husband and I were in Chicago this weekend, and we got to go to the Field Museum as one of our stops. And we went to the Art Institute. Those two pictures down below are dinosaurs. That big one is of a T-Rex, and the one to the left, that's just the dinosaur's head, that is Sue the dinosaur. And yes, it is a huge dinosaur. The Field Museum has several different kinds of dinosaurs that kids can look at, and it's a very interactive exhibit. And the cool thing is, kids can actually lift this little uh, flap, and they could smell what the dinosaur's breath actually would smell like after eating something. And I gotta tell you, my husband and I were grossed out. I was like, oh my God, this smells like rotten garbage. Um, we were shocked at how like cool that kids can sniff that and they can see or smell what a dinosaur's breath smelled like, and they could feel their skin. Um, it was just really cool, very interactive. Um, the picture up at the very top, you might recognize that photo or that artwork. If you've watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the three characters, they go to the Art Institute and they look at artwork. And that they have the actual artwork on display at the Art Institute. So we got to take a little bit of a Ferris Bueller's Day Off tour and see some of the pieces of the artwork that was featured in the film, and we got to see a Frida Kahlo exhibit. So if you're ever in Chicago, go see these two places, the Field Museum and the Art Institute. It was worth the money, a lot of fun. And if you have dinosaur enthusiasts, definitely take them to the Field Museum. Okay, we are going to cover some storytime standouts. What are storytime standouts? Simply put, these are the best books to use for story times. Here we go. Our first book is Five Little Friends, a collection of finger rhymes. This is written by Sean Taylor and illustrated by Fiona Woodcock. This will be released on August 19th. And I gotta tell you, it's always hard to find a good rhymes or finger plays. Uh, those of you that have done story time for a long time know that, sometimes you want to just change up the routine. And I read an advanced copy of this on Elovise, and I was happy to see a collection of finger rhymes, not only that librarians can do, but also caregivers could replicate the finger rhymes as well. This is a gem of a book. It has very short finger rhymes that encourage kids to use their arms, their hands, and sometimes their whole bodies to chant the finger rhymes. The illustrations help kids and caregivers. It shows them how to move their hands. And there are all kinds of finger rhymes in here. There's finger rhymes from about dinosaurs, snakes, bubbles and bubble blowing, to butterflies, to stomping like an elephant. Um, I liked there's a finger rhyme about uh, brushing your teeth. So it says, get the brush, squeeze the paste, freshen your mouth with a minty taste. This way, that way, scrubbed and clean. Best brushed teeth they've ever been. That was a really cute one, especially if you want to if you have a dentist story time. But this is a great collection for story times, especially if you want to shake up and change out your finger rhymes or finger plays. This definitely you want to put on your shelves. The next book is called Toad by Toad. Try to say that one 3 times fast. Um, this is written and illustrated by Jashar Awan. And this book came out a couple months ago, or actually a couple months ago, several months ago. But I finally got a peek at it, and it received a starred review from School Library Journal. And I loved it just because the artwork is vibrant and it moves with readers on the page. Um, and this is perfect for a car story time about cars. But Toad says, no time, Pop. Can't stop. Because Toad and his tow truck are always on the move. And they're always on the move to lend a hand to anyone who needs help. Whether there's a flat tire or engine trouble, Toad is always to the rescue. And his pop does his best by try to get Toad to slow down and take care of himself, but there's always seems to be someone else who needs to be towed by Toad. So how can Toad say no? He's used to being the problem solver that helps people when the tow truck breaks down. He does everything he can to help fix the car himself, but sometimes he can't. And sometimes what happens when the helper needs help? So that story encompasses that. I love the fact that there's short sentences and rhyming text. Like I said, the artwork moves with readers on the page, and this is vibrant and colorful. Big cars, little cars, old cars, new cars. Everyone needs help sometimes, no matter who you are or where you're going. That's where Toad comes in. Very vibrant, beautifully illustrated book, perfect for a Cars themed story time. Oh, Samantha says, we love Toad by Toad in my house. I love it. The next book is a board book. This is called Ada, Look at My Teeth. This is written and illustrated by Deshu Ma. And this is about a little child named Ada. When Ada asks each of her animal friends to open their mouth and say, ah, she's in for a sight. Lion has pointy teeth, while hippo has flat teeth, and mouse has teeth that are teeny, teeny, tiny. However, the elephant's teeth are huge. Some teeth are crooked like monkeys or sharp like the upside down bats. And some are numerous like crocodiles or beaky like ducks. This book illustrates that everyone's teeth are just right for them. This is a cute, quick story for a story time. You could use this as a beginning story to read to preschoolers for a preschool story time before a dentist comes in to present for a dentist story time. I like how it shows kids how to brush. It says the page there says brush, 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 gurgle, 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 phew. You know how kids love to make sounds like that. So this adds to the interaction. Very colorful, very fun, especially for a dentist story time. Please grab Ada, Look at My Teeth. Okay, we are switching gears now, and we're going to go to some early readers. Here we go. All right, we have some series alerts. Oh my gosh, this is the first of series alerts. There's going to be a ton. So just a heads up, if you see red lettering and yellow highlights, guess what? It's a series alert. The first one to your left is called Biscuit's Puppy Sleepover. This is written by Alyssa Satin Cappuccilli and illustrated by Pat Shores. And of course, who can go wrong with Biscuit? The lovable Biscuit. Biscuit is back with a brand new tale. In this story, Biscuit and his owner are gearing up for a sleepover. Biscuit's owner, the young child, invites her friends, and Biscuit's friends, Little Pup, Puddles the cat, they join the fun as the kids play rounds of cornhole. Meanwhile, Biscuit and his friends are tugging pillows, they're chewing stuffed toys, knocking over building blocks, and they knock over the popcorn and treats. Woof, woof. Oh, Biscuit, how did you get those again? Says the owner. At the end of the story, each animal settles into their bed and everyone falls asleep. The illustrations are warm and engaging. Each spread has 2 to 3 short sentences on a spread with repetitive text, perfect for those beginning readers. To your right, if you're a fan of Berenstain Bears, I mean, I grew up with Berenstain Bears as a kid. Um, Berenstain Bears, there's a new story called, I have to pull my chat box. The Berenstain Bears Get Outdoors. And this is written and illustrated by Mike Berenstein. In this story, brother, sister, and Honey Bear, they all want to go camping. And Papa Bear is excited because he knows all about camping, or so he thinks. He tries to start a fire, put up a tent with very little success. But guess what? Brother and Sister Bear can save the day because they know how to start a fire and they know how to put up a tent. So they're always trying to help Papa Bear when Papa Bear does things wrong. Again, this has simple sentences, a clear font, and the story is just funny, and it is a winner for beginning readers. We have another series alert. Man, I must have been series alert crazy this month. Um, this is called Pete the Cat's Mars Mission. If you have any Pete the Cat fans, you want to add this to your early reader collection. This is written and illustrated by Kimberly and James Dean, and this will be released on June 26th. This is about Marty, Pete the Cat's monkey friend. Marty has a problem. Marty is stuck on Mars, and Marty wants to get home. But guess what, folks? Pete the Cat, being the wonderful astronaut that he is on the way to rescue him. But readers have to discover if Pete has the right tools he needs to get Marty home. This has simple sentences, short sentences, and familiar repetitive words that are perfect for Pete the Cat fans. So definitely grab Pete the Cat's Mars Mission. Okay, we are moving fast, and we are going to move to second and third grade chapter books. For this edition, I have a brand new series that is hitting the market. Excuse me. This is called the Zumi and Zoe series. These books are written by Corey Ann Haydu and illustrated by Ann Appert. The first book, which will be released June 3rd, is called Zumi and Zoe and the Tricky Turnaround. And this is an adorable book. This is about Zoe and her two individuals, Zoe and her stuffed rhino, Zumi. Zoe loves her stuffed rhino, Zumi, and she adores her best friend, Kayla. Zumi, the stuffed rhino, loves zooming everywhere on their stomach in rainbow mud, and Zumi, she has a best friend named Moo. Both Zoe and Zumi have something in common, though. Both of them are facing a tricky turnaround, since both of their best friends are moving away, which is making Zoe and Zumi very sad. When Zoe wishes to be just far away, Zoe is magically transported to Zumi's magical world as Zumi's happy, helpful human. And Zumi hopes Zoe will help her get through Moo's moving. However, Zoe doesn't know it, but Zumi just might just be helping her get through Kayla's moving away too. This story tackles themes of growing up, moving friends moving away, and learning how to make new friendships. In the second book, which is called Zumi and Zoe and the Sibling Situation, this book received a starred review from School Library Journal. The release date for book number 2 will be August 19th. In this edition, Zumi thought her family was pretty great, but then her parents bring home a new baby rhino. And in Zumi's humble opinion, Fizzle is kind of boring and rude. And Zoe's dad has a wonderful surprise. Zoe is going to be a new sister too. But Zoe's new brother doesn't seem to like her very much. So why does the baby keep crying when Zoe's around? Both books feature situations of growing up. Both of them feature large print and large font, short chapters, and I have to say the illustrations are adorable. They're black and white illustrations, and they kind of reminded me a little bit of Lisa Frank, just because when you look inside, there's clouds and stars and hand-drawn stars, but some of the illustrations reminded me a little bit of Lisa Frank. Um, so definitely grab Zumi and Zoe. Grab Zumi and Zoe, the sibling situation, and the tricky turnaround. Okay, we are going to move to picture books and board books, and there are a lot. So here we go. The first book on my list is called The Bear Out There. Oh my goodness, I loved this book. And yes, Sammy said this Zumi and Zoe blurb is a tongue twister. Yes, it is a tongue twister. The Bear Out There is written and illustrated by Jess Hannigan. This received a starred review in School Library Journal and in Booklist. And I have to tell you, I laughed out loud when I read this book because I could just imagine the interactions that you as a reader, as a storyteller could have with this story. And this book, it craves to be read aloud. The interactive parts are there. The little girl asks the reader if they came to the inside into the house to hide from something scary. She says she can tell you, but you must promise not to scream. And with a flashlight in hand, flashing her face, she says, I know for a fact that there is a bear out there. And the other spread shows the girl covering the reader's mouth because the young kids, I could just hear kids saying, and the reader sees the bear coming closer and closer to the house with each spread. And the little girl says there are 3 bear signs to watch for. Hair on your arms, standing straight up. You feel a pair of great big eyes watching the back of your head, and you get super itchy. And she even draws a picture of said bear. But after hearing a snap sound outside, she realizes that the bear is coming. And the bear is coming. And once you do see the bear, I love the picture. She says, save yourself, I'm out of here. And what readers come to realize is that the bear lives in that house, and it's the bears from the 3 bears, and the girl is Goldilocks. And I love the picture where it says the picture here of a book that the bear is reading. It says Goldilocks, friend or fiend. Super engaging, super funny. Grab the Bear Out There by Jess Hannigan. There's 2 little golden books on my list. And I know some people are like, wait a minute, little golden books? Really, Janeé? Really? Little golden books? Yes, I am saying yes. Um, Definitely, these 2 books are very engaging books for kids. The first book to your left is called The Colors of Spring. This is written by Dana Smith and illustrated by Jessica Gibson. This is a simple rhyming gem, and it features 1-sentence spreads as a little boy and his grandparents are tending to the garden, and the child points out all of the colors of spring. Orange is the door of Grandpa's garden shed. Brown is the soil that fills the flower bed. While this book points out primary colors, such as green with pesky weeds, yellow butterfly, red is a water hose, black seeds to plant eggplant, kids can also learn about white, the white fence, because the kids are they're building a white fence. The color tan, pointing to their rubber boots. Silver, showing the silver garden hoe that Grandpa uses. Turquoise, which is their hanging basket. And gray, which is their garden bench. The family ends their day by drinking pink lemonade. To your right is a book called I'm a Preschool Kid. This is written by Deb Adamson and illustrated by Tasneem Imrudin. This book has a release date of June 3rd, and this is an adorable, simple picture book that explores the emotions and activities experienced by young kids on their first day of preschool. And you see kids that are from being shy and nervous to the kids who are curious and eager to go to preschool. Through rhyming words, the child meets new friends, they learn new games with their preschool teacher, they take a rest with a little nap, they engage in story time, and so much more. Both books offer cheerful, vibrant illustrations of the kids and adults. Specifically, I love this spread in I'm a Preschool Kid. I love it because the teacher is singing songs to kids and it shows kids from all walks of life. Very colorful, vibrant, and just simple rhyming books. And I'm a Preschool Kid would be perfect for the child or caregiver who is starting to talk to their kids about attending preschool. Where are you, Bront? Sam, am I saying that Bront or Bronte? I've always got that mixed up. I believe it's Bronte. Memory serves.
Yeah, you got it. The Brontes. Yeah, Bronte.
Wait, thank you. Where are you, Bronte? This is written by the late Tommy DePaula and illustrated by Barbara McClintock. This received starred reviews in School Library Journal, Kirkus, Publishers Weekly, and Booklist. This was the last book completed by Tommy DePaula. Yes, and Jonathan is right. It is a gorgeous book. Um, it's hard to find books about the loss of a beloved pet. This book explores love, loss, and remembrance in this ode to Bronte, the dog that Tommy cared for and loved for 12 years. In simple sentences, Tommy says the dog flew to him on an airplane from Chicago and sat on his lap in the car ride home. At bedtime, the dog whimpered, but Tommy saw the dog was sad and he let the dog sleep in his bed next to him. The illustration shows what the dog loved during their walks. The dog loved seeing other dogs, eating ice cream, running up hills. It showed how much Tommy loved this dog. The next spread that says, it says, I was so, so sad when you went blind. And then it says, the day you left me, I knew I would miss you. Uh, I have to tell you, when I read this, it reminded me of the loss of my pet, Aslan. I just, you just get those feelings when you have the loss of a pet. So I could really empathize with Tommy losing his beloved member of the family. Um, the final spread shows a rainbow in the sky with Bronte as a cloud floating in the sky. And Tommy says, but then I knew you were right here. Again, this is a gorgeous book, perfect for those who are looking to explain the loss of a pet. So definitely grab this book. Our next book is called Cranky Crabby Crow Saves the World. This is written and illustrated by Corey R. Tabor. This received a starred review in Shelf Awareness and in School Library Journal. And this is about cranky, crabby Crow. Crow just wants to sit on the power line. And Crow doesn't want to play with Squirrel, doesn't want to play with Bat or Rat. And each time they ask him, the Crow just says, ha! And he doesn't have time for them. But from high atop of a telephone pole, Cat warns Crow that if he will soon be all alone if he turns his friends away with his very cranky caw, caw, one more time. But unbeknownst to all the animals, Crow has bigger plans. He is trying to save the world. He is a world-saving crow, and he has to protect the planet Earth from an asteroid heading in their direction. So in the spread, you see the crow getting into the rocket ship, flying up to the asteroid, and he's pushing buttons to blast the asteroid. The final pages show Crow back on Earth with his animal friends together, and they show the asteroid exploding into a million pieces. It's a cool spread. And yes, Corey R. Tabor is awesome. This is the author that wrote Mel Fell. So definitely grab Cranky Crabby Crow Saves the World. Oh, Jonathan says, just read this for story time last week. The kids loved it. Yay! And we've got another series alert. Oh my goodness. This is The Wild Robot on the Island. This is written and illustrated by Peter Brown. This will be released on June 24th, and it received a star review in School Library Journal. And with the popularity of the Wild Robot series and the movie, this is a no-brainer to grab this for your picture book collection. In this picture book, Roz the robot is not where she's supposed to be. Roz was in a crate, and during the storm, the crate fell off the ship. Roz emerges from the crate, but Roz is realizing they weren't designed to live in the wilderness. And when she washes up on an island, she has to learn from the animal inhabitants and adapt to her new natural surroundings. And before long, the island begins to feel like home. The illustrations for this book are gorgeous. If you are a fan of the Wild Robot series, which I know you have patrons that are, you want to make sure you grab the Wild Robot on the Island. All right, we're going to move now to children and teen nonfiction, and I have two selections, one in children, one in teen. The first book is called Hurricane. This is written and illustrated by Jason Chin, and this received a starred review in School Library Journal. This is a thoroughly researched nonfiction picture book that shows the week of the life cycle of a hurricane that hits Hatteras Island, North Carolina. And it shows the tools and technology that helps keep people safe in the aftermath of the storm. The illustrations and short texts show how people prepare for the storm, such as gathering emergency supplies, boarding up windows, checking in on neighbors, and shows people at the grocery store stocking up on supplies, leaving their shelves bare. In this spread that I have, it shows Monday, and you can see where the storm is forming. And it has the tropical cyclone wind scale that kids can see. And it shows in the middle spread here how people are talking about the storm and how they're preparing. These individuals are grabbing their first aid kit, getting their emergency supplies on hand. The spread that's on the right side where it says Wednesday, it shows workers at the National Hurricane Center, forecasters, working to predict this hurricane's track. This is awesome because kids can learn about the difference between hurricane watches and hurricane warnings, the different kinds of radars that are used to track the storms, how individuals use planes to track them. And in the back of the book, it explains hurricane structure, why hurricanes spin, hurricane formation, and cyclones. in short illustrated sidebars. There's also a section for further reading as well. This book is a teen nonfiction book, and this is called Death in the Jungle: Murder, Betrayal, and the Lost Dream of Jonestown. This is written by Candace Fleming, and this received multiple starred reviews in Book Page, School Library Journal, Kirkus, Booklist, Bulletin for the Center for Children's Books, and the Horn Book. Now, I was curious because I've read a lot of Candace Fiction's books, both fiction and nonfiction. And when she started to cover this, I was really intrigued. Um, this is a powerful, gripping, and chilling nonfiction book for teens. Think roughly your eighth grade and up. Um, but in November 1978, Jim Jones was the leader of the People's Temple, and it was a cult. And he led all of these people from California to Ghana and convinced more than 900 of his followers to commit revolutionary suicide by drinking cyanide-laced punch. 1/3 of the victims were children. I have to tell you, this was just gut-wrenching. But this is true crime written for a teenage audience. So you're probably wondering, how do I sell this book? What do I need to do? This is definitely true crime written for teens. It is so gripping. It is so moving. So if you have teens who are interested in true crime, this would be a book to recommend. Candace did a phenomenal job of interviewing the 9 survivors from Jonestown. She really did her research. There are pictures of Jim Jones when he was a kid, and she details how this young man went from being a teenager to this leader of this people's movement to just being just very unhinged. You see how it affected teenagers. You see how it affected his son, who is Stefan, who's still living. Um, but you see these snippets of life in these teens and these kids that were trying to live normal lives, and they just got pulled into his rhetoric. Um, and the crazy thing is that Candace does a wonderful job of comparing what a cult is and explaining what cults are and how people can get influenced in them. It really compares to now when you have teens following influencers and social media people. So you can kind of see how this compares. Uh, Definitely a powerful book, gripping book. If you get a chance, read Death in the Jungle. Okay, we are going to switch gears and turn to middle grade fiction. Here we go. I have 2 books on this list this month. This book is called The Trouble with Heroes. This is a novel in verse, and it's written by Kate Messner. This received starred reviews in Booklist, Kirkus, and Publishers Weekly. And this is about a young man named Finn. Finn is kind of in a pickle. He's a 7th grader, but he got into trouble for damaging a gravestone of a prominent hiker. So, in order to pay for his crimes, the daughter of the prominent hiker has asked him to take her late mother's dog, Seymour, and visit all 46 mountain peaks. That means he has to hike these peaks. So you're talking 12 weeks, 46 peaks, and he has to finish this task by Labor Day, and all of the charges will go away. Now, Finn is not crazy about this. He's like, oh, I really don't want to do this. And on top of that, he's missing assignments in English class. He has to write poems, all different kinds of poems for his English teacher. And he's got to pick up his PE grade because he needs to complete at least, if I remember right, 14 hours of PE. So of course he has to do it. And he's not crazy about about the late mother's dog, Seymour, slobbery, smelly dog. But as you see him go through these peaks, you see an emergence in him. You understand why he's angry, why he's frustrated, and why his dad is not in the picture. His dad was a firefighter who risked his life on September 11th to save individuals. But as a result of saving individuals that day, he faced a lot of PTSD and alcoholism. This book is moving with wonderful poems, including haikus. Uh, it's a relatable story because you feel for Finn. The characterization is very relatable, and the poems are short. And the cool thing is, in this book, Finn's mother, works with her mother in a chocolate shop, and Finn bakes cookies. So there are cookie recipes sprinkled through the story as well. So definitely grab The Trouble with Heroes. The next book is J versus K. This is written by Kwame Alexander and Jerry Craft and illustrated by Jerry Craft. This received star reviews in School Library Journal, Publishers Weekly, and Booklist. And this is two Newbery Award-winning authors. Those names should ring a bell to you: Kwame Alexander and Jerry Craft. Jerry Craft is known for the New Kids series. Kwame Alexander is known for that popular book, The Crossover. But these two authors are teaming up for this funny, hilarious novel. And it's J and K. J and K are the most dynamically creative fifth graders at Dean Ashley Public School. Jay loves to draw, and his stories are funny, they're wordless, they're full of zany humor, and I love how they put this in the book. Jay, genius, har har har. And K loves to write and tell stories, and his stories are gaining attention from his other classmates. And both J and K are determined to win the school's annual creative storytelling contest. And when they find out that they're both entering the contest, these two do whatever it takes to stop one another from entering the contest. Um, if you have fans of the New Kids series, they'll appreciate Kraft's illustrations. They're black and white illustrations. With these two novelists, I did appreciate how they shared in a fun way what makes a story, because the principal says the story has to have a beginning, middle, and end. They also share what it's like to write, the difference between writing in first person, second person, and third person. Um, Very funny and engaging. Grab J versus K. Okay, we are going to switch gears because there are a ton, and I repeat, a ton of graphic novels. So I'm going to zoom really fast. So here we go. We've got a lot of series alerts, so get your pen and paper ready. The first one to your left is called Castronauts Cosmic Clutter, Book 7. This is written and illustrated by Drew Brockington. The release date will be August 6th. Some of you might know who Drew Brockington is because he was at our 2024 Pop YS Con. And this is his latest installment of the Castronaut series. In it, the cats are celebrating Family Day at Cats Up. Get it? Cats Up. Cats Up headquarters, and Major Meowser is waiting for his dad cat to make a big entrance. And his dad is Buck Meowser. He's the first cat to ever orbit Earth. And so he's a Catstronauts legend. But the Major is in for a shock when Catsup announces that Buck is making a grand return and he's going to join the Catstronauts on their next mission. So there's some father-son bonding and there's some hijinks. To your right is Narwhal and Jelly. They have a new book. It's Narwhal and Jelly, A Waffle Lot of Love. This is book 10 in the Narwhal Jelly series by Ben Clanton. This is coming out December 30th. There are 3 stories in this edition with the best buds Narwhal and Jelly. It's Valentine's Day, and Jelly gives Narwhal a whaley nice card. Get it? Whaley, Whaley, nice card. But Narwhal has no idea what to give Jelly. One card isn't enough, and soon Narwhal has to figure out what kind of gift Jelly wants. Everything from waffles, a book about jelly, to more waffles. Did I mention there was more waffles? Yeah, there's a lot of waffles in this book. So definitely grab Catstronauts and a waffle lot to love. We got more series alerts with Junie B. Jones. I'm seeing that's the trend now where they're taking all these chapter books and turning them into graphic novels. Um, Junie B. Jones, The Stupid Smelly Bus is book one. This, both of these books are adapted by Colleen A.F. Venable and illustrated by Honey Bean. And the first book got a start review in School Library Journal. And I gotta tell you, this really it caught the feeling of the original book. In Stupid Smelly Bus, Junie B likes paschetti, she says paschetti, and meatballs, and leather patent shoes, keys, and stickers. But she's not a fan of the stupid smelly bus that takes her to school on her first day of kindergarten. She doesn't want to ride the bus. There's meanies. It smells like an egg sandwich, and she's afraid of somebody pouring chocolate milk on her head. When Junie B refuses to get on the bus to go back home, she hides in the art closet and plays at the teacher's desks and puts band-aids all over herself in the nurse's office. This was fun to read. It captured the novel perfectly. The second book is coming out on September 30th, and it's called Junie B. Jones and a Little Monkey Business. The premise of this, according to the press release, Junie B. is going to have a new baby at her house. And she's got to deal with this baby because it's not a very good surprise, because babies, she says, smell like PU. So if you have fans of this series, for the chapter books, grab the graphic novels. And of course, Dogman is coming back with book 14, Dogman Big Jim Believes. This is written by Dave Pilkey. This will be released November 11th, perfect for that Christmas season. According to the press release, they released the cover of Big Jim Believes on May 9th. And in this installment, according to the press release, Dogman, aka Scarlet Shedder, Commander Cupcake, and Sprinkles, along with Mecha Molly, they all discover that the city has changed and nothing is how it should be. Can Big Jim's positivity and innocence help our heroes? Will Dogman, Big Jim, Grandpa, and Molly have the courage to trust each other and save the day? And how does the past help shape the future? And who the heck is the chosen one? Those of you who have Dogman fans, get ready for this. This is going to be big. And yes, of course, the Dogman book would not be complete without a flipperama. There's got to be a flipperama. So make sure you grab Dogman, Big Jim Believes. And I loved the first book of this series, Miss Quince's. I loved Miss Quince's. Miss Camper is the newest book to come out this year. This is written and illustrated by Kat Fajardo. This is going to be released July 1st. And this is about Sue. In the first book, she had her quinceañera. In this book, she's heading to Camp Willow this summer. Sue's looking forward to hiking, archery, making comics, and she's especially excited about live action role playing games, and she can't wait for the freedom to be away from home. But she won't be far from family because her big sister Carmen is the camp counselor, and her little sister Esther is a camper that won't leave her alone. And all Sue wants to do is make memories. But to make matters worse, her best friend Sam has a camp best friend named Marsol. So if you want to see how this plays out, grab Miss Camper, released on July 1st. And Minecraft. Minecraft is still big, especially the chicken jockey. All this whole thing with Minecraft, the movie. Now they are they're getting on the manga bandwagon. So Minecraft, the manga, is written and illustrated by Kazuyoshi Sito. In volume one, 10-year-old Nico wants to be an adventurer like his father, Iko. His father left them to find the end of the world, a place thought only to exist in legends. But Nico has the mark of the rune, which gives Nico special powers to his family. But there's a catch. His mother tells Nico that when adventure calls, he has to give up everything to answer the call. And Nico is ready to prove himself, and he proves how strong he is when he's starting to attack zombies. And when he starts to run into another zombie, he realizes that they can talk. In book two, Nico sets off on another adventure, but this time he has to face a spider, a large spider. And I will say these books are fun, they're fresh, just just a fresh array of manga for Minecraft fans. Um, I thought these were very funny, very engaging, and this is perfect for a Minecraft section at your library. And oh yeah, volume two comes out June 10th. And volume one, I believe it should be out now, if memory serves me right. So Emily's asking, what is the difference between a graphic novel and a manga? Good question. A manga are Japanese comics written in English, but you read from right to left. So you start at the back of the book and you read from right to left. So graphic novels are just simply comic books. So I hope that answers your question. The next book on my list is Band Nerd. This is written by Sarah Clausen Willis and illustrated by Emma Cormery. This is about Lucy. Lucy loves to play the flute. She is going to this prestigious school to play the flute, but she has issues at home. Her father is an alcoholic who is no stranger to hospital visits. And she is determined to be the best flute player because she feels like that'll help repair relationship issues between her mom and dad. And she wants to be first chair to prove herself against another classmate who is also a very popular and strong flute player. This has themes of family secrets, perfectionism, alcoholism, definitely realistic feel to it, especially when Lucy takes the other person's music score and hides them so that way they try to, that way they don't advance to being first chair. So a little bit of a competition there, but very realistic. If you have band enthusiasts at your library, recommend Band Nerd. Okay, we are moving to what I'm reading in teen fiction. Here we go. So these are books that are on my list to read. The two on your right are teen books. The first one is The Correction of Hollis Brown, which is written by Kay Ankrum. That received a starred review in School Library Journal, Booklist, and Publishers Weekly in Kirkus. This is a queer romantic thriller where Hollis is a boy. He feels trapped in his struggling small town, but he meets Walt, who's a spirit that's been adrift for generations, who takes over Hollis's mind and body. But Walt and Hollis work together, and an unspeakable bond grows between them. This has a little bit of paranormal feel to it, so I'm really excited to see where that goes. The book in the middle is called The Thrashers. This is written by Julie Soto, and this received starred reviews in School Library Journal and Publishers Weekly. The Thrashers is a murder mystery, and it takes a different take on the popular group trope. There is a girl who wants to join the popular Thrashers group at school, but she's rejected. The next day, she is found dead on prom night. Her diary is found, and her diary implicates every member on the Thrashers group except for Jody. Jody now has to find out who really killed this girl. And of course, the third book on your right, I cannot wait. This is another Holly story. This is not teen fiction. It is Stephen King's Never Flinch. This comes out today, so it's another Holly story. I am super excited because I'm number one on the list. I'm on large print list, so I'm number one. But if you love Holly stories, which Holly is just one of those characters that Stephen King said he couldn't get out of his mind, you want to definitely make sure you have the new Stephen King Never Flinch book out. It is released today. So grab those copies of those books. I wanted to also share some collection development resources with you because people ask me, where do I get all these ideas? Where do I get these books? Um, to your left, I follow Baker and Taylor's Growing Minds. I have it's basically what they do, Baker and Taylor, they send you every month a PDF copy of their magazine, Growing Minds, and it focuses specifically on youth books from 0 to 18. And it's a mix of everything from board books to nonfiction to fiction. Um, it's a great resource to find out what's coming up, what you should have on your radar, and what you should have in your Baker and Taylor cart. It also does give you short synopsises of each book. So definitely talk to your Baker Taylor rep to see if you can get a copy of Growing Minds. It's sent to you via email, via PDF. I also recommend the Publishers Weekly Children's Bookshelf, getting on their mailing list. They send newsletters every Tuesday and Thursday, and it'll tell you what's hot right now. It'll tell you what authors are working on, new stuff that's coming out. And I love at the very bottom, it also gives 4 or 5 short reviews of new books that are on the horizon, whether they're starred reviews or no star reviews. So sign up for Publishers Weekly Children's Bookshelf newsletter so you can get those newsletters on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Book list, they just recently released the top 10 Put Your Book Read Alouds for 2025. I put the link to that article on the slide here. They had some really cute titles such as Dog versus Strawberry, but a multitude of very fun read alouds for your next story time. So really take a peek at that article as well. Also, do not forget, we are gearing up for All Ira Reads summer virtual author visits, and our registration is open. This is all happening in June. These are wonderful webinars that you can invite your kids, your teens, or adults to, and have summer reading viewing parties at your library. On June 17th, we'll have Tim Johnston, the adult All Ira Reads author who wrote Distant Sons. He'll be there for an hour to talk about his book. June 18th, we'll have Christina Weinman talk about the kids selection Jawbreaker from 1 to 2 p.m. And Wednesday, June 25th, we'll have Byron Graves, the teen author, to talk about Resball from 3 to 4 p.m. These are awesome events. The registration links are there, so you can register online. I hope to see you there. And the kid and teen authors, though those webinars will be moderated by the teen Iowa Student Poet Ambassador. So it'll be cool to hear a teen get to interview the authors, and he'll take all of your viewers' questions in real time and ask them to the authors. So definitely sign up. And of course, it wouldn't be a check it out without a giveaway. So we're going to pick 4 winners after this session, and all your packs will be delivered via Iowa Shares. I just want to say congrats to Chantel Maxwell of Baxter Public Library, June Williams of Stillwell Public Library, Ashley Whitrock of Humboldt Public Library, and Amy Herrick of the Mellinger Memorial Public Library. And for the Level Up Your Summer Reading book list, that went to Amy Bachman of the Conrad Public Library. So please make sure you tell us your first and last name and where you're from, because I don't know what computer one means when we go to pick winners. So please make sure you put your first and last name and what library you're from. And with 4 minutes to spare, we are at the end, friends. I hope you had a great day today. I hope you had a great time learning about all these wonderful books. I will be back in June 24th from 11 to noon, sharing some more fun treats with you. Um, yeah, it's going to be fun.